Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Lynne-Life, and welcome to another model railroad update. This is part 3 of this series. So, and a lot's been done. It's been over 2 weeks since the last update, so I got a lot to show you. So let's get going. My name is Jonathan, and I'm a caregiver for my wife Lynn, who has a permanent brain injury. Things are a bit different now, but we're doing the best that we can. Join us as we experience the Lynne-Life. Yeah, the last update was a couple weeks ago, and in that time I've been documenting some of the work I've been doing, and I've kind of forgotten what I've already shot, so I had to kind of go through the footage, and I noticed I had already done an intro at the beginning of it, and that intro was way dated. So I knew I had to redo another one. So I'm actually in present day right now, but we're going to go back in time to at least a couple of weeks ago when I started some of the updates over here that have already been done. They've been done for quite a while. So still got a little bit more to go. So there'll probably be a part 4 on this when I completely finish it. But this is good. I've noticed that doing these videos pushes me to, keep moving on that and finish it. Otherwise you kind of put it off on the back burner. So let's go back in time right now to probably a couple weeks ago and see what I had to say then, and we're going to show you some of the work that we've completed. So the model railroad has already had some changes to that scene. I've already been working on it, and as I do things, I do have to document them. So we're going to be doing that today as well. I'm going to show you some other things I'm going to do. We're going to be painting some figures. We're going to be adding to the actual construction site. Pop's Hot Dogs has already received an upgrade, and we're going to do a lot to the actual landscaping. A lot has already been done. I'm going to show you that, and we're going to do more. So that will be cool, and I'll show you how I actually do some of the landscaping. I actually apply dirt and grass and stuff like that. So we're going to do that today, and so stick around, and I think you'll find this interesting. Well, there's already been some development done since the last video. Last video we did see the grade done over here, and that was done, but what you haven't seen is this area over here, and I decided this week that right here, this area right here, is going to be a small pond. And then there'll be some trees over here, some picnic tables over here for people, for Pop's Hot Dogs, maybe another picnic table or so. Here is going to be a parking lot over in here, a little parking area. The road is here. The road is actually split. It comes this way and it comes this way, and it comes together and goes through. And this is a little gradient done here as well to go up to this road. There will be a little median right here, and Pop's Hot Dogs has gotten an upgrade. The roof isn't done yet here, but made a new sign for Pop's Hot Dogs. It's right on top here. Now the deal is, this was a building made from scratch by my father many years ago, and the deal is between the family, or Justin in particular, that I cannot make any changes to the existing building, but I can add on to it. Now, my father hand painted everything. All his signs have always been hand painted, but I decided it needed a new, or bigger sign on top. It said Pops. So I made this sign, and I drew this by hand, this hot dog, and colored everything by hand. This was printed, and Pops itself was printed, but only the black part. And then I colored that in and then weathered it a little bit and made a little frame. So there's still a little bit's got to be done on it, but that has been done, and that's a good addition right there. And then lighting will be put in. Another thing over here you might notice is the bulldozer. The bulldozer has been completed. Pretty detailed, very weathered. I might paint over that. I'm beginning to think that maybe I weathered it a little bit too much, but it is complete. Oh, the smokestack's not painted yet. I noticed that. That's still silver, but that's going to go over here, and he's going to be grading this area. There's going to be dirt and stuff, and a pile of dirt, and so that's the update in this area. So the construction area itself, haven't done a whole lot on it until today. All I've actually done is I've added ladders. You see these ladders right here. It's going up. I've added a ladder over here, another ladder over here, a couple pieces of wood going across. This little guy over here with a wheelbarrow, he's been painted. He's going to be put over there by the dirt pile. And the crane is actually going over here. I had it set up that way, and I'm going to put at least one guy over here with his arms up, kind of directing. They're going to be looking like they're going to be placing a girder right here, over in there. So, and the girder will be suspended from the crane, and we'll see how that looks, and we'll have that over there. I need a couple other guys ready to put it in place. So I need a lot of men on the girders. So that means I have to paint more figures and get that done. But it needs to look busy over here, and I haven't been doing much because I've been doing other areas. But this is in the background, so it's easy for it to get neglected, and then I just don't finish it. So I want to make sure I get as much done as I can on it right now, so I don't forget about it. I was just thinking while I was working on this railroad, and I look around at things that my father has built, and it doesn't seem like it was so long ago that he was here with us, and this was in the house or parts of this, the part that was built by him was in the house that I grew up in. And I remember I would come home periodically, and I'd go up and see what he had worked on, and he'd go up with me and talk about it and stuff like that. And now he's gone. He's been gone since 2014. And I've been working on it. I've added on to it. I literally had to cut it in half to bring it home in a U-Haul, along with some other stuff, and bring it to my home. And then Justin and I put it back together. And it was just this yard area over in here, and it included this train station here, which wasn't finished, and so I rebuilt the whole upper part. The bottom part is original the way he had it. And it's eerie, kind of, when I'm working on things. I almost feel like he's with me. But at the same time, I get this feeling of loneliness, too. Because he's not, I don't see him. He's not really here. I feel like he's here, but he's not really here. And and when I work on like Pop's hot dogs here, and you know, and I take the roof off, I see his work, see what he's done with it, you know, and that's why it's important. We don't want to touch what he has done too much. It's all right to add to it, but that's why, and that's why this railroad is important to me. It's very important to me, the modeling and keeping it going. And I just wish he was here so I could share what I'm doing, you know, to the railroad that he started, and how I've added on to it, and the things that I've done, my modeling techniques compared to his modeling techniques. Because mine are different. Mine are definitely different than his. Although I appreciate what he does, some of my techniques are very similar. My sisters have said that. Oh, geez, it looks just like Dad had done it. You know. Well, I learned from him. I learned from him, and I'm still learning from him when I see, you know, what he's done, and it's an ongoing process. And Justin learns from me, and Justin is very interested in modeling as well. He has his own things he does in his room. He has his own models. He's been working on one right now. I'll probably show some of that stuff in another video later on. But yeah, that's what it's all about. So enough reminiscing. Let's keep going on with the project. All right, I'm starting to add a lot more guys to the construction site. See, I got a guy down below on a ladder, you know, trying to add a little, some guys working on the dirt pile. I'm trying to add a lot more activity so it looks busy. Got some guys in the background or sitting on the girders up on top, and another guy directing the crane, and it's coming along. Okay, I'm going to start putting a little color it doesn't have to be anything real special. I just need something here. I usually do kind of an olive green or something. Kind of covers. You just don't want the white. It's tough to cover the white. Now I'm not doing the little pond yet. I'm going to paint that separately because that's very special. How you paint that really going to affect how well the pond looks, because the pond is never very deep. It's very shallow, but by how I paint it is going to affect how it looks. It's going to look a lot deeper than it really is. You want to start with light colors on the outside. There'll be a little dirt, a little mud, a little grass, stuff like that, and then as you go to the center, it'll get deeper, so the colors will get darker, so you've got to do that. And then the last thing you do is you put a very thin layer of clear on it. That makes it look like water. So that's what I'll be doing. There's a variety of materials you can use to create that clear surface. Well, you get a better idea now of the color that I want to use. It gets darker green in the center because small ponds usually are very greenish, you know, almost like olive green color because of the vegetation and stuff like that might be in it. But I do my research. You can see here on the computer here, I research small ponds and get an idea of the color and what it should look like. Usually there's a lot of reflection of the sky in it. Here's a good example of a pond, and using the same colors that I have over here. You can see the light color towards the edge here where the sun reaches at the bottom and reflects back. But then over in this other area here, you can see where it gets much darker, and you get that darker green. That's what I'm trying to achieve. There, applied a little tufts of long grass along the edge too. And the dirt, when it dries, it'll get a little lighter colored. And the water material that I'll be using will fill in around the grass, so the grass will be like right on the very edge of the water, and some of that dirt, the brown, will be underwater, and it'll look good. Okay, at this stage I'm going to start adding some coarse turf to this area. Just going to put it down dry. It'll be adhered to it later when I add the diluted Elmer's glue. And I'm adding, let's see, I got some coarse turf light green and coarse turf burnt grass. This is just going to give it a base, and then I'll add some of the static grass and other details to it later. I got a layer of ground foam around the pond put down, and now it's time to start putting down what I call static grass. And what it is here's a bag of it right here. It's little nylon fibers, and you buy this in various lengths. This is my shortest. This is only 2 millimeter lengths. It's very, very short. I'm dealing with HO scale here. And this is light green. And then I have some 4 millimeter, a little bit longer. And this is straw. And you can mix this like you would mix paint. And I make a mixture of it in here. Mixture of fibers, various lengths, various colors. Just like real life grass. And then you put it inside this. This is the applicator. It uses a 9-volt battery here. I can turn it on. See how the light turns on there? And when it's on, there's a little copper material over here, and you plug one end into it, and on the other end you have an alligator clip attached to this little metal thing. And when you apply your glue first, this is what the first thing you do, static tack. You put it down, smear it all over in the area you're going to apply it, and you put this in it. And the glue, of course, is wet. And when you turn this over, you put the static grass inside. This comes off. Put the static grass mixture you want to apply in there. Turn it over, and the static grass starts to sift out into your area, and it creates static electricity, and these little nylon fibers stand up straight in the glue like real grass. Okay, so you make your mixture of different lengths. I'm going to try to stay to the shorter length for this one area, and that goes into the static glue, and as long as you run this over it, creates static electricity, stands up, and when it dries, it looks like real grass. Works pretty good. I kind of like it. I know some people don't. It's a little tougher to work with. It takes technique. You have to practice, and you have to apply it more than once. I find, especially in areas where it's a little bit overgrown, you have to keep applying it, because grass isn't all one color. You might have a patch over here that is dark green, another patch where the grass is a little bit longer and it's a little bit more dead, and you got to apply that, and it's like painting, but you're painting with nylon fibers of various colors and lengths. It's very interesting, and I'm still learning. But I have applied it in a couple areas with much success. Okay, this is the first layer, and this all has to dry. Calm down, and then we'll see what we got when we're all done. But this little area right here will remain fairly short grass because I'm going to have a tree and a couple picnic tables set up in this area. The rest over around here and around the pond, that's going to be a little bit wilder. So I already have some of that going here because I added some ground foam and stuff like that. But I'm going to add a little static grass here, but it's going to be longer and different colors, and same up here. So it takes layers to actually make it look good. And of course, once all this is done, this is going to be the pond, and I'm going to, this takes layers too, I'm going to start layering this with a water material that'll dry hard. It'll be acrylic, and I can get it up to a 1/2 inch thick if I want, but I'm going to do that a little at a time, and that'll actually come up into a little bit of the grass area towards the edge of the pond, and that's going to look fantastic when that's done. Alright, it's the next day, and I'm going to apply some more static grass on top of what I've already put. I've already mixed a little concoction here of 7mm light green and 4mm straw, and that makes a nice little concoction, long grass. In HO scale, it will 4mm about a foot, 7mm about 2 feet. So 1 to 2 feet in length. So this is long grass. I use it sparingly, and that's why I wanted a little bit of the straw in there to show a little bit of it might be dead or dying. Alright, now I'm going to start the application here. Puts down a lot more than I need. Staticky. It's sticking up. Okay. The downside of static grass, of course, is the mess. I use a little battery operated vacuum to vacuum it up, and it collects it so I can reuse it. I can reuse the grass, and you suck it up over the areas you've applied. So as you can see, it doesn't look too bad. Can you see how it's standing up? This is wild. This is the wild grass right here. It's time to work on a tree like this here. I think this might be the trees that I bought at the last train show, if you remember. These are, what, 4.5 inches long, high, which is similar to another one I have over there next to the Harley dealership. And I think it'll be perfect. I think I'm going to put 2 up in an area across from Pop's, and then I'll put some picnic tables underneath it. I think it'll be a nice little scene with some people sitting there. Alright, I've opened the box. I want you to see what we're dealing with here. There's actually 2 trees. This is one of them. This is white metal. It's the same type of metal that the bulldozer was made from. And you would take this and you bend it into shape and make it just the right size and everything. And then you've got your foliage here. Okay, and you rip that up and you glue it onto each branch the way you would like to glue it. And that's pretty much it. So you've put this into shape and then you paint it. And it's got a little nub here. You could either keep that. I usually do, and I drill a hole and I stick it in and I glue it. So in place on the railroad. So let me get working on this and I'll show you the end results. Hey, I just got a notification that I had an Amazon delivery, and I got this. It's called Realistic Water. It's made by Woodland Scenics. Woodland Scenics is a product that I've been using since I was a kid in my modeling. The static grass is Woodland Scenics. The applicator is Woodland Scenics. The tree that you just saw me building is Woodland Scenics. And this Realistic Water is Woodland Scenics. And the thing that attracted me to this is that it is water soluble. And that's important. I've tried other products before that were sort of an epoxy. You had to mix it. And it really put out a strong smell. It took a long time to dry. You couldn't enter the room. You had a lot of ventilation. This seems like this might be better. Plus, you don't have to mix it. It's ready to go right now. And you just put a little bit at a time. So I'm going to use this on the pond. And I just smelled it. It does have a smell. No surprise there. A little bit like paint thinner. Maybe not as strong. So I'm just using a little bit. I'm just going to add a little bit at a time. Let that dry. Then I add a little bit more. Let that dry. Add a little bit more. Let that dry. And we'll see how this looks. But so we're going to go through and try this together because I've never tried it. So let's go give it a shot. Okay, here goes. I'm going to pour a little bit here and there. Let's pour it on, and it says to work it out with like a paint stirrer or something, because we're going to do this in layers. Okay, that should probably do is this is the very first layer, and it says let dry for at least 24 hours. Okay, we're moving ahead, forward in time, since we put our first layer of water on the pond and a whole bunch of other things done to that scene. And I've decided I gotta start wrapping this up a little bit. So we're gonna move. Today is actually Thursday, February 15th. And I want to show you the finished pond and some of the other finished stuff. And I've actually at a point now where I'm starting to get it ready for photographing it. And I've done some test shots. You guys have actually see one of them in the thumbnail. So I want to go over that a little bit. I'm going to go over what's been done and what still has to be done, and we're going to wrap this up. So let's go. Let's go to the layout right now. Okay, so here's the scene right now, present day. The pond is pretty much done. You can see that. See the reflection of some of the things there. You got a figure there I just stuck in the grass. You got picnic tables. You got a tree. That tree's done. The grass is done around there. The road is pretty much done now. You got Pop's hot dogs. Oh, I don't think anywhere we didn't show the landscaping around Pop's. It was like a gravel. It's like a gravel driveway. It's not quite done, but it's getting there. Still don't have any dirt around the bulldozer where there's going to be some grading. I haven't done that yet. The actual construction site's pretty much done. I haven't finished the sign. I have to put that in place, but I'll be doing that when I do the dirt that the bulldozer is digging up. That will be done. There's a lot of areas over here that's got to be done as well. But that's it. That's where we are. And I'm going to show you the photograph that I took, and I want to talk about that. So let's take a look at the photograph. I have it up on my computer here now. And this is sort of a test photo. Notice the locomotive. These are some of my criticisms about, photographing things. And when I do a test photo, I know where I need to make improvements. And the locomotive itself lacks. You can't see any details because it's completely black. It's like when I go and I shoot television commercials. I hate shooting black cars, like at car dealerships. I want to stand in front of this black car. Well, it's just a black blob because it shows no detail. So like in this locomotive, I need to weather it and to highlight it and show some highlights and things like that so that the details can pop out, because that's really a beautiful locomotive. It's a Hudson. It's made by Broadway Limited, and it's got sound and it makes smoke, and it's wonderful. It's a beautiful running locomotive, and it looks beautiful as well. But you don't see it much in the photograph. So that's one thing that I would criticize. There's that one area just to the left of the taxi cab. That area needs some sort of detail. The whole area around Pop's hot dogs still needs to be detailed. That was just the first step, putting some of that gravel down. In the area behind Pop's hot dogs, where the bulldozer is, that whole area, of course, has to be done. I'll probably be doing that soon. And so there's all these little areas, little details yet, but this is sort of the fun stage. I put that one car with people in it in front of Pop's. That might stay there. I need a lot more people around Pop's hot dogs, waiting, I have to put a few more cars and put people that will be waiting to be served, and a couple of people sitting on those picnic benches across the road. So still a lot of little details that have to be done, but they're smaller things. All in all, the area looks a lot more finished now. It's not a blank slate like it was. Here's a shot of what it was before and the shot of what it is today. So it's come a long ways. So, and it's been fun. And doing this video has really helped push me along to get it to where it is right now. So thank you for that, and I hope this video isn't too long for you. I hope for those of you who have stuck around to the end, thank you very much. But I'm going to put a close on this now. So we'll see you next time on The Lynne Life.